You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday, happy Mercury Day, and happy birthday to a couple famous Tauruses. Ulysses S. Grant would have celebrated a birthday today, Cory Booker. I'm not seeing actually a whole lot of really notable people celebrating birthdays today. So we're in Taurus season. If you're a Taurus, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday, let me know in the comments so I can send them good energy and give them a shout out. And speaking of good energy, we have a pretty potent connection to talk about today. Venus is coming into a conjunction with Neptune. Venus, the planet of love, Neptune, the planet of spirituality, often considered to be a higher octave of Venus. So this is taking love to another level. We're going to break that down, what it means, but it's also worth noting that Jupiter is transiting very closely nearby. So I heard another astrologer describe this as a throuple. Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter all meeting up, all with very positive connotations. And we're going to talk about the potential of this, but mind you, we are also smack dab in the middle of eclipse season. So if you're starting to experience unexpected shifts, if you're starting to open up to new opportunities or have new opportunities come your way, that's likely because eclipse season is upon us. Now, we'll talk in detail about the solar eclipse this Saturday, what it means for your sign, how to work with the energy. We'll talk about all of that on Friday. But because we're already really starting to feel eclipse energy, I just want to remind you of a few things. So eclipses, you know, especially as astrology is becoming more popular, are getting this kind of bad rap. I mean, they definitely bring unexpected shifts, and it's something we're usually not in control of. But I want to remind you of a couple of things about eclipses. The reason they tend to be so unexpected, and many astrologers say this isn't the time to manifest, is because our luminaries are compromised. The sun and the moon aren't beaming their full light on the new moon and the full moon during eclipse season. But I want to take this back to kind of an ancestral point of view. Oftentimes our ancestors didn't know when eclipses were coming. And so all of a sudden the moon or the sun would be blocked out or would look weird. And the moon and the sun were how they told time, how they, the constant that they measured time by. So when those luminaries got blocked out, it was certainly unexpected and a little bit scary. And that's why even today people are like, whoa, eclipses, what does that mean? What's going to happen? You know, another thing that we'll see throughout eclipse season is our shadows being revealed. And sometimes they're revealed in shocking or unexpected ways. When we talk about an eclipse, there's some sort of shadow we're either seeing on the moon or the sun. We're seeing the moon block out the sun. We're seeing the Earth's shadow on the moon, depending on what kind of eclipse we're talking about. So, if you are feeling shadows emerging or coming up, just know that kind of the point of eclipses. So that was just kind of a little preface about the energy of eclipse season, because the transits we're talking about today, which will be playing out in the background during the solar eclipse this Saturday, are for the most part, really positive and really beautiful. But I do want to sort of give you permission or an understanding of the overarching energy of unexpected shifts, of shadows coming up if you're experiencing that. I know sometimes it can be invalidating if it's like, yay, the energy is so beautiful today. And you're like, then why am I feeling a little bit on edge, or like I'm out of control or not sure what's going on? So let me know if you're joining me live or you're finding this video later, how the energy has been feeling for you leading up to this Saturday's eclipse. Of course, we still have a few days to go until the actual eclipse is upon us, but I'm really curious to kind of tap into our collective energy in the community we are building and see how it's already affecting you, because, you know, we have our own special community here on The Spiritual Journalist and on Transits Today. And I like to think that by coming here every day, we're kind of plugged into what's going on with each other on an energetic level. All right, I'll stop ranting about eclipse season though and start talking about the transits we're specifically feeling today. So let's pull up the chart here and I will show you what's going on as we speak. Right now, Venus over here at 24 degrees is at the same point as Neptune in Pisces. And Venus is exalted in Neptune, or in Pisces. Neptune is at home in Pisces. So both of these energies, both of these planets really like to be in Pisces. And in a simple statement, this is love in the highest. Like I talked about at the beginning of this live stream, Venus is the planet of love. Neptune is the higher octave of that expression. So it's all about universal love, about oneness. And we can expect to kind of tap into that spiritual love or spiritual guidance today with Venus and Neptune together in Pisces. We can also gain a deeper understanding or admiration from established relationships, or we could find ourselves daydreaming about the potential of new connections and new relationships. Neptune kind of puts us in a little bit of a haze. So we've been talking a lot lately about rose-colored glasses after that Venus-Neptune conjunction, but the rose-colored glasses are definitely still on, especially with Venus forming a conjunction to Neptune. We can fall in love very easily, maybe too easily. We could be a little delusional about romance or love or relationships. It could be difficult to see through anything other than those rose-colored glasses. So just to be mindful if you're in a really dreamy, romantic state that we're not necessarily seeing the full picture, or we could be so caught up in a delusion that we're kind of blindsided by the shadows that the eclipse is bringing up. So as beautiful as this energy is, it can leave us a little bit confused, or kind of like our head is in a cloud. I will also say this transit kind of dissolves boundaries with Venus forming a conjunction to Neptune, especially boundaries in relationships. So Neptune is like a boundary dissolver. Like, it has no boundaries. It's just like la la la, like everything is beautiful, everything is fine. So yeah, boundaries could be an issue that come up with this conjunction in Pisces, especially in Pisces, because we know Pisces energy has a difficult time with boundaries as well. So this is really just a supercharged, potent expression of Pisces energy in a lot of ways with this conjunction. I will say too that creativity is a really beautiful way to move spiritual realizations through you. Like, creativity can kind of help you process whatever spiritual insights are coming through. Oftentimes when we are kind of downloading things spiritually, we can't fully make sense of them, but Venus's influence here makes creativity a great form of kind of channeling things or bringing things through. Now let's talk about Jupiter as well, because Jupiter, if you look at the chart, is only 3 degrees away from this conjunction. So Venus and Jupiter will meet up during the solar eclipse, like seriously at the same time as the solar eclipse on Saturday. That's coming, and that's something, again, we'll talk about a little bit more specifically on Friday. But it's worth noting that all 3 of these planets are in a loose conjunction with each other. So Jupiter does bring a level of optimism and just good vibes in general to this transit too. For the most part, a lot of us are going to experience really, really beautiful energy leading up to this eclipse. And this could set the stage for some fated moments leading up to the eclipse as well. I see in general with Venus, Neptune, Jupiter, all in Pisces, I see this as collective consciousness rising. I see more souls waking up to their own spiritual understandings. I see luck being on our side, and the pursuit of higher understanding being on our side as well with Jupiter in the mix. So if you're feeling really called to study spiritual topics or kind of dabble in maybe things that you're not really used to learning about, that would be a great way to use this energy too. Also, Venus and Jupiter forming a conjunction during the solar eclipse could bring shifts with money. So again, we'll talk about this more on Friday, but luck is definitely on our side when it comes to love and money. So really, I think the goal here about using this energy with Venus, Neptune, Jupiter all together in Pisces is to consciously try to raise our vibration. So that could be learning about astrology. That could be saging your house for the first time. It could be pulling an oracle card, getting a reading, even just online learning about things that interest you. Opening yourself up to that curiosity can help raise your vibration. And when you raise your vibration, you can attract more easily. And with this solar eclipse happening in the very money-focused sign of Taurus with Venus and Jupiter conjunct in the background, I see money coming through for a lot of people. This eclipse season in general has the potential to create massive shifts in collective consciousness and create individual shifts when it comes to our own abundance and our own resources available to us. So there's a lot of opportunity here, but remember, when we're raising our vibration, when we're opening our consciousness, anytime there are shifts, anytime there's change, discomfort comes with it. And oftentimes we have to release things and let go of things in order to make room for new energy to come in. And sometimes the eclipse forces us to release those things or break those habits, or the universe brings in opportunities or obstacles to kind of force us to change and again, open us up, allow us to bring in new energy or create space for that. Yeah, definitely a days, Court. And I'm sure with all of this happening in your first house too, that it's kind of like, whoa, who am I? What's going on? But yeah, bring it through. Like, I think the more we lean into our spirituality, the more we lean into trusting a power and a plan greater than ourselves, the easier it is to just say, okay, spirit, okay, God, okay, universe, I don't know why this is happening, but I trust that it's happening for a reason, or when our own shadows come up or when we observe other people's shadows, being like, okay, what is this showing me? What do I need to release? What's kind of still been living inside of me that I haven't fully let go of yet? So the beauty of astrology, the beauty of spirituality in general is allowing and observing things without judgment and trusting that it's all happening for a reason, even when it is difficult. But anyway, in general today, we have really good vibes. So even if you're a little daisy, a little confused, the vibes in general, it's easier to just kind of align with love. I will say too, this is a really great time to take a look at your own birth chart. If you've never calculated your birth chart, scan the QR code in the corner and you can, or just go to thespiritualjournalist.com/birth chart. It's also in the description. You can get a free copy of your birth chart there. Take a look at which house is ruled by Pisces. That's going to give you a really big indication of how this energy is affecting you, maybe where the focus is right now for you leading up to eclipse season. You're going to want to look at Pisces and Taurus, because not only do we have this triple conjunction in Pisces and the solar eclipse in Taurus, but a lot of the planets in both of these signs have been playing off of each other and connecting with each other over the past week and will continue to do so. So knowing kind of what area of your life is being activated can again help you just process any of the shifts that are happening, kind of have a little bit more of a frame of reference to what lessons you can pull from, whatever's going on in your individual life. All right, let's talk about the moon really quickly. So the moon was in Pisces all morning, and if you're watching live or after the fact, let me know if you had wild dreams, because my dreams were super crazy last night, and that's because the moon was forming a conjunction to Jupiter at 4 a.m. and then also at the same time getting support from Mercury. So very early this morning, we could have had like really vivid or potent dreams, or just kind of over the top dreams, as the Pisces moon, which really taps us into our subconscious state, formed a conjunction with Jupiter. It might have felt like your dreams were like very grand, like on a grand scale. And then with Mercury forming this supportive angle, it brings through information. So it's like the wilder the dream, the more powerful the message is that's trying to come through. Court says, my grandma was in my dream and showing me pennies. Amazing. I feel like money is coming through for you, girl. Like, yeah, I see that for you. But I love that your grandma came through. And I know you were just saying you felt her recently as well. So I love that. I had a dream that I was in some like apartment or something with my dogs and my partner and some other people, and they were about to get into a gunfight. And I calmly asked, can I go in the closet to make sure that I'm not caught in the middle of it? And they were all like, yeah, that's cool. And then I was like, also, I'm going to take the dogs with me too, okay, so they don't get hurt. And everybody was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then I just took the dogs to the closet, and I guess there was a gunfight. And then I had another dream right after that I was like in this studio space and someone was trying to break in. So like really aggressive dreams were coming through for me. And I was like, oh, okay. I woke up and I'm like, what does this mean? And so of course I looked up dream meanings, and was it spot on? Yes, it was. But definitely like strong dreams that I remembered really vividly, and I knew, okay, something is trying to come through. So, if you have a dream that's like stands out to you, or it's like you can tell you're remembering it for a reason, I always recommend just going on Google. There are like thousands of dream sites, and just seeing which descriptions kind of resonate with you and align with you, because everybody has their own interpretations, especially when it comes to things as subjective as dreams, Aw, I'm so happy for you. Thank you. I am glad you said that. You're so proud of me for saving myself. Honestly, I hadn't thought about it that way, but I think that's kind of what I needed to hear today. Like, I just needed to remove myself and go find safety and peace and let everybody else battle it out. I like that a lot. I'm taking that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just watching. Pisces rules your 11th house. So for you, I would say there's great potential in connecting with your community today. And just leading up to this eclipse, the 11th house rules the collective, our community, friendships. So with Jupiter and Neptune and Venus meeting up in Pisces, you might feel like you are craving a community or trying to attract a community. And maybe it's that you're trying to attract a community of like-minded people when it comes to your own spirituality or your own understanding. Now, this could also bring up confusion in friendship connections, because remember, anytime we're talking about Neptune, it blurs boundaries. It can create some confusion, especially when it comes to our relationships with this conjunction between Venus and Neptune. So there could be something coming up for you, like confusion around, does this person value me the way I value them? Or do I belong in this group? Or kind of second guessing yourself a little bit. But overall, it's a really beautiful energy. And if any voices of doubt or confusion are coming up, I would just invite you. Luck is on your side. Good vibes are on your side. Reach out to people, connect with them. And if you're like, what are you talking about? We're your community here. You're finding your people right now. So just know that we're all grateful for you here coming and giving your input and chatting with us each day. And maybe this is your sign that this is your community. So yeah, just really pay attention to what's coming up for you around community and friendships. All right, so we know that the dreams were crazy. It sounds like other people had wild dreams as well. At 6 a.m., the moon formed a sextile to Pluto. So if you were still asleep at this time, again, this could have brought through some intensity, some transformational realization subconsciously. This could have also brought up some shadows. So, you know, we're in the waning phase of the moon, the waning crescent phase of the moon leading up to this new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. And this is a time of surrender. And when the moon connected with Pluto this morning, it was like, let it go, release it. This is really making us aware this morning of the things that are falling away in order to create room for new opportunities, as I mentioned. So you know, the moon's no longer in Pisces, but it could have brought up some like subconscious stuff this morning that now you're left to work through or deal with. And just in general, with this conjunction in Pisces, it's really inviting us and asking us to trust and believe, so we can lean into that Pisces energy and trust that everything is falling into place exactly how it's supposed to. And remember that our evolution doesn't require effort. We are going to evolve. All it requires is presence. All we have to do is be present and be open and stay kind of in our bodies and plugged in, and our evolution will happen naturally. So this isn't the time to force anything under the waning crescent moon. This is the time to simply let go and let God. Aw, we love you too. Thank you for being here. Okay, so the moon was void from 7 to 9 a.m., very short void moon. But now the moon's in Aries, and the moon's not making any more connections for the rest of the day. However, with the moon in Aries, especially leading up to this eclipse, you might feel a little agitated or kind of the need to do something or to take action. I think on an intuitive subconscious level, a lot of us are feeling like, okay, shifts are coming. Like, I mean, even for months, I've been hearing friends who aren't astrologers, who are just mediums or intuitive readers of some sort or healers say like, I feel a shift coming. I feel changes coming. And I don't even think they knew eclipses were coming. So we're right there. We're on the precipice of the shifts, of the eclipses really starting to make waves. And the moon in Aries can make us feel a little restless, a little bit aggressive even. Rapid shifts are coming our way, and we are intuitively aware of the instability. So it can be tempting with the moon in Aries to jump into action and try to control the situation and cause our own chaos to avoid feeling discomfort, right? Like if we just keep moving, if we just keep doing, then we don't have to stop and like really let it in and feel everything, right? Like we can just kind of be in control if we're the ones dominating the narrative, but we're not in control. Eclipse season is in control. And the more we try to control things, the more we try to force or manipulate or push through things, the harder it's going to be when those shifts come if they're not in alignment with what we're already doing. So I think the best way we can use the energy of the Aries moon leading up to these eclipses is to, as Court loves to say, move our meat suit, move the body, surrender through sweat, like literally push energy out of your body. Give yourself a mini exorcism by like sweating all the demons out, right? This is me speaking to myself. I think I need to really do a hard workout today. Like I am ready to purge some things. So exercise, movement when the moon's in a fire sign is definitely our friend for processing emotions. And because the moon isn't making any other connections, it's just a really great time to assess kind of how the energy feels in your own body right now. Like where does it feel restless? Where are you feeling discomfort? And how can you move that physically out of you? This is a very physically focused sign with the moon in Aries. So you know, I was also watching Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown on HBO Max. I haven't got all the way through it, but she talks about how emotions are literally felt in the body first. Like we don't process emotions through our mind. Our body feels things and then sends signals to our mind to process them. So the moon in Aries really reminds us, like, if your body is feeling something, it is going to affect you emotionally, and you might as well just move your body to get it out faster. You know, the Aries moon has no patience to deal with things. So it's like the minute you feel discomfort, do 20 jumping jacks or something. Just get it out, or it's going to come out in another way, probably in the form of anger or aggression. Ooh, sauna. I do know of a sauna nearby. Maybe I need to try that. I like that idea. Saunas tend to stress me out a little bit because I feel like a little claustrophobic. It's so hot in there, but honestly, that might be what I need. That might be what I need. All right. Also in the background, we have Mercury still forming a sextile to Jupiter. So you can see that over here, Mercury in Taurus at 27 degrees, Jupiter in Pisces at 27 degrees. So this is really helping us lean into trust, lean into good vibes. Like if we make the choice to see the silver lining, we'll be able to align with it easily, but we still have to make that choice in order to really feel the full potential of that sextile between Mercury and Jupiter. Saturn is still squaring off to the north and south nodes leading up to this eclipse too. So really hard lessons that we're learning, but all of the things that are happening for us, whether it feels like it's positive or negative, are pushing us towards our destiny. The lessons we're learning are pivotal at this point with Saturn squaring the north and south nodes. So even if you're like, I don't understand why these things are happening, just know that there's a really pivotal reason that everything is unfolding the way it's unfolding. And that can make it easier to navigate a little bit, I think, when we know that there are larger plans at play. Also, I would not recommend going through your Saturn return during eclipse season. I will just say that. I would not recommend it. I know nobody can help it, but Saturn is now on my Saturn. We are in full-blown Saturn return mode, and we will be for the next month. So here we are. If your Saturn return is coming and you're wondering what it's like, keep watching day by day. I'm just going to take you through it with me. All right, let's do an overview. So, the planet of love and the planet of universal love meet up in the sign of Pisces today. We have a conjunction between Venus and Neptune with Jupiter very close by. So, this is a meeting of the planets of optimism, of abundance, of good fortune, of spirituality, of creativity, of connection. There is a lot of positivity with this conjunction in Pisces. But as we're looking through our rose-colored glasses, it could be difficult to see anything other than the silver linings. We want to make sure we're not getting too delusional, too lost in a connection without seeing the reality of the situation. Neptune can cause some confusion in relationships as well. So definitely lean into those abundant, loving vibes. Be open to new connections. Be open to higher understanding in current relationships, but understand that you're probably not seeing the whole picture right now. And as we're leading up to eclipse season, shadows are possible and they could be surprising when they present themselves. But in general, this transit sets the stage for fated moments. There could be encounters or connections that are made with Venus conjunct Neptune that are destined for us. And we could also gain a greater understanding of spiritual love, of oneness, of the love of God, of the universal love around us all the time. The moon made a couple connections in Pisces this morning, forming a conjunction to Jupiter and getting support from Pluto and Mercury. You could have had some pretty wild or vivid dreams this morning trying to bring through messages to you. Pay attention to what came up while you were sleeping. And then the moon moved into Aries this morning. So that can make us a little bit more restless or agitated, especially intuitively knowing that shifts are coming in eclipse season. Try not to create your own chaos or your own excitement just because you're not sure what's happening next. When in doubt, move your body and sweat it out under the moon in Aries. That is a big transit. Yeah. Lots going on personally in my chart. Gotta love it. Yes. Okay, let's pull a card. I'm going to pull from the Starseed Oracle today, my go-to deck for Pisces energy. We'll see what needs to come through. As always, this is your time to ask questions of me, ask your questions of the universe, see what message needs to come through. And again, let me know how you're feeling under all of this dreamy, Pisces, Venus, loving, confusing energy that we're experiencing. All right, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Wow. The card I got was, wow, so spot on. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Whoa. All right. Let's see what the guidebook has to say. Let's see. Cracked open. Don't let the weight and density of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home into your body. At the center front of your life, it's through the extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It's when things are their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. Let your pain, sorrow, and losses make you, not break you. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Be open to being cracked open, wide open. It's the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds and in ways we could only dream were possible. But first, they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way. Whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen, so surrender to the process. It's how the light gets in. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. When your soul cracks open, a space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pains, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. Stay open to the possibility that your tragedies, your losses, your sorrows, and your hurt happen for you, not to you. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Wow, exactly what I needed to hear today. I don't know about you, but I certainly know that card was for me. Saturn returns are no joke, you guys. And I'll leave it at that. But wow, a beautiful reminder that even in our darkest moments, even in the hardest times, there's always an opportunity to let light in and to learn a lesson and to know that it's all happening for us, not to us. I hope that you are having a beautiful day. I hope that your Mercury day is bringing you all the love, abundance, and good vibes under this Venus-Neptune conjunction. I hope that everything is shifting exactly how it's supposed to for you ahead of this Saturday's eclipse. I love you. I'm grateful for you showing up for this community. I'm grateful for you showing up for yourself. And I will be back tomorrow to talk all about a trine between Mercury and Pluto. So when we talk about the energy of alchemy, of transformation, we could have some pretty powerful insights come through with this trine between Mercury and Pluto, kind of helping us understand all of the transformation happening for us leading up to these eclipses. So we'll dive into that a little bit deeper tomorrow, and I hope you can make it. I should be back early tomorrow morning. Just had to give myself some time today to be able to come here and bring my full self to you. So I appreciate you being flexible with me, and I hope to see you right back here tomorrow morning. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.